Welcome to the Travelman Podcast. My name is Ben and I'll be your travel buddy. On today's episode, my wife Mandy and I reminisce about the fantastic time we had in Seoul. We went on a ghost tour, ate great food, drank too much soju, scaled some great heights, and enjoyed the autumnal colours that Seoul welcomed us with. Enjoy the podcast.
Accidental podcaster returns.
Yay, the accidental podcaster returns, and she returns to talk about Seoul.
I'm not accidental anymore.
No, you've done it. You've done it more than once now. But yeah, that first night was good. That was the first night eating the not roast chicken, but the Korean fried chicken.
Start from the start.
Yeah, I think we can start from the start. Well, we arrived on Saturday,
27th of October.
27th of October last year.
We flew with
Thai
Airways via Bangkok.
On their brand new A350.
Yeah.
Which was a really nice flight.
It was a good flight.
It was a great flight.
It was an overnight flight, which meant, the two stops
Yeah, well, we had to fly
overnight.
Via Bangkok, and we were in Bangkok at around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something. It was weird.
The reason why we chose those flights is because we had a great deal.
That's right. We did. We had a great deal with Thai Airways.
Yeah, so for our trip that time, we went from Melbourne to Seoul, and then from Seoul to Taipei, and then from Taipei back home, with obviously stops in Bangkok both ways.
Yep.
There and back.
Yep.
And each person was $1,000, those flights.
That's right. I remember that was a special deal.
Yep.
That's pretty cheap. You won't get better than that.
No.
Especially going to Seoul in South Korea, which is
a fair way away.
Yeah, it's a fair way away.
Yep.
But that was a good flight. We arrived and entered the airport and really wanted a coffee, remember?
Yeah, Incheon Airport.
Incheon Airport. We arrived at Incheon Airport.
One of the top,
Incheon.
top airports in the world.
Yeah, it's one of the top airports if you believe what Skytrack says.
Okay.
So we can't...
But you believe it?
Yeah, I believe it's a good airport.
Yeah, it's a great airport.
It's a great airport.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I was very thirsty and I really wanted a coffee, and we found a little cafe/bakery, I think it was.
It was a French place.
Bakery, yeah. It was Le Petit something or other.
It was a really interesting place, and the coffee was really hot.
It was hot. And what happened?
I spilled the coffee.
Yeah, Mandy spilled the coffee everywhere. I laughed at her, and it did
pretty
not.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it was funny, but it wasn't funny.
But I told someone to clean it, though. I felt bad.
You did.
Yeah, and then I said, "Excuse me, can you clean my mess up? Can you clean my mess up?"
And you tried no Korean at all. You didn't ask them in Korean.
I know, because I hadn't.
You didn't know any Korean before you left.
I still don't.
We still don't know, so that's a good thing. If you're traveling to Korea, you don't have to necessarily know Korean. It's nice to know.
No, they love it if you say thank you and hello.
You.
Yeah,
it's nice to know all that, you know. But we went there without knowing any Korean,
which is fine. I
think I only know 감사합니다.
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 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. This is not a language podcast where you only learn two languages.
So two words. We arrived at Incheon Airport, spilled some coffee, and then caught the train to the city.
Yes, we took the train into the city.
We were staying in a very popular area in Seoul.
What was that area called, Mandy?
Myeongdong.
Myeongdong.
And because of that...
Famous for the night markets. Myeongdong.
Not so much as skincare and shopping.
But there's still a bit of a night market scene there. There's food and...
Walking street, yep.
Yeah.
So, we took the train.
Yes.
Probably City Hall. Yes, it was City Hall station, which is right in the centre near where we were staying, and where our accommodation was a great location.
Look, it's a fantastic location. You know what I really liked about the location was the trees that lined the streets there.
So pretty.
They were genkos, so Japanese genkos, that had gone, well, the leaves had gone yellow because it was autumn.
Yeah, really nice time of year to travel.
So I'm going to put something out there. Yep, I'm going to say that the best time to travel to Korea is in autumn.
And I would say that would extend to Japan.
Yes, or spring. Because obviously people
cherry
like
blossoms.
to see the cherry blossoms.
But other than obviously the most popular time, autumn is just really stunning. The colours that you see in all the trees was just amazing. Yeah.
And being a nature lover, I loved to see different coloured leaves on the trees.
So what that means then for the temperature is you really need to pack a warm jacket.
It was cold.
Yeah, you need several layers when you're travelling in autumn because it will start off quite chilly. You may get sun, and if you do, you can probably get rid of your jacket, but you need to have a jumper underneath and at least a T-shirt and a couple of layers and some nice shoes, comfortable shoes.
Comfortable shoes. Remember, Seoul in winter, though, gets snow. Yeah. So autumn is going to be very cold. So, and autumn feels like our winter or colder.
Yeah.
Melbourne winter.
Temperatures in Celsius, I don't know, 10, 11.
Yeah, it was about between 10 and 12, 16. I reckon.
Yeah.
When we were there.
Yeah. So, but a great time to travel anyway. It's so warm. Everything's heated except when you're walking around. We just had to buy a scarf because we didn't think to bring a scarf.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't even have to wear my beanie, which I had brought, so it was okay. Although I had my hood on a little bit, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I had my hoodie on, but I remember getting to the hotel, and the people were just fantastic.
Yeah.
They were just so lovely and not heartwarming. I don't mean that. I mean
gracious.
Gracious, but very happy to see you.
Yep.
But I think a lot of countries in Asia, like the Japanese, the Koreans, even the Singaporeans at some stage, even the Malaysians are happy to see you.
For sure.
They just seem like that's the way they're trained, I think.
So going back to our arrival at the airport on the train, so we caught the train into the city and it departs quite frequently, probably every 20 to 40 minutes.
Yep.
You can get an express train, which costs about 9,500 won each way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not too expensive. And also it gets you, it's a very quick ride.
Yeah. How quick? It was half an hour,
it's not super quick, but it's just under...
It was about half an hour, wasn't it?
A little bit longer. Yeah, maybe about half an hour to 40 minutes. But do you remember the landscape that we went through on the train?
Yeah, it was very moon-like, Martian-like. It was very strange.
And water and...
mounds of sand.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Over some modern bridges, the train went.
Yep, definitely.
But it was a very weird... It was a weird landscape. I'd never seen anything similar to it.
No. We took a video, so we could probably post that up.
I can definitely post that up.
Yep. So it'd be great for people to see. But
so check the links.
So we stayed
the info.
So we stayed at a hotel called Hotel Shinchin in Myeongdong, or just outside of the main thoroughfare of Myeongdong. As Ben said, the hosts were super friendly. Really
gracious.
Nice service.
I think that's what I meant to say, gracious.
Really great service. And the hotel cost was not too expensive.
No, I think it was in the ballpark we wanted to pay anyway.
Yeah. And in the room, we had a bed that was really low to the ground, but that's what we had chosen.
Yeah, it was like futon style.
Yeah. And there was a little seating area and a great bathroom with a big bath. And it was really, really a home away from home for those 8 nights that we were there.
Yeah.
Great. So do you remember the little adventure we first had?
Yeah, I remember going out onto the main street.
Yep.
Which I do not know the name of.
Me neither.
And I'd probably make a mess of that name. But I remember turning left or right and seeing Songdaemun Gate.
Yep.
This large gate, which I actually have a Lego of. I built Songdaemun Gate a long time before I knew I was ever going to see it.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
So the thing with Seoul is that there's, I think, 8 different gates that surround the city.
Yeah, the 8 gates of Seoul, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And they've got names and for all of them, and they've got descriptions of what they mean.
Yeah, so obviously located around a circumference of an old
City
fortress wall.
It was a city wall.
So lots of history, and you'll happen upon these gates which have been reconstructed and obviously made to last and renovated at various stages. But
It's Songyemun Gate.
Was a really beautiful sight to see in amongst different office buildings and skyscrapers, this little piece of history. And that's, I think, what you often see in Seoul is you have, firstly, the landscape's really striking because there's a lot of hills and mountains around you. And then you also see lots of industry and buildings.
Yeah.
And in amongst that, you see history, like these gates.
You know that
and
gate,
the temples,
for instance, was apparently restored in the 1300s.
Yep.
And it was obviously, like we said, was part of the fortress wall, but it was a pedestrian gate with the pagoda-style roof, if anyone's trying to imagine what it looks like,
Yes.
with a stone archway.
Yes.
And the stonework is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff there.
And the colours, the painted colours are really, really beautiful on the roof as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'll try and put a picture up. If it's not the profile picture, which I haven't decided yet, not profile, thumbnail pic, then I'll definitely try and attach some photos on the blog site on travelmanpodcast.com, so at least you can see what we're talking about. But it's a very, very pretty building. And
exactly.
you can also see where they've fixed it up. So I'll post a picture and you'll be able to see what I mean by that. There's a big difference between where the old stonework is and where the young stonework is, 1300s. So that's a long time ago. But the stuff they built back then in Asia, just fascinating, mind blowing, and beautiful.
Yeah, really stunning.
We don't do that stuff anymore. We just build these really mega tall buildings, which is still kind of like a feat in its own way, I guess. It's our thing. Building large, tall glass buildings.
So...
But yeah, Songyemun Gate was fantastic. We moved on to... Sorry, Mandy, were you going to say something?
I was going to say the same thing. So we moved on to something close by to there. Do you remember what that was?
It was Namsan. Namsan is the funicular that goes up to the hill.
Yeah.
I think it's Namsan.
Yeah.
Namsan Hill? Yeah, where the observation point is.
That's right.
And that was fantastic because as you boarded the little funicular, went past the most beautiful autumn landscape I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's right. It was really nice.
So make sure you do not miss seeing Songyemun Gate while you're in Seoul, as well as going to Namsan, taking the funicular up, especially if you're going to go there in autumn, it's fantastic, and going up to the viewing point, which is beautiful. It's like a hill where there's a little bit of a stone ledge and there's some great views. Nearly it's 360. You can nearly see
You can
most
see
of
all the
Seoul.
way to the Lot Tower, which is it seems really far away.
Yeah, but it's not.
Isn't it? Oh.
Well, I guess, who knows? I don't know. I'm not...
it was really big. It's massive.
Yeah, no, it's big. It's big. But the views up at Namsan, it's beautiful, and there's some shops up there too.
Yeah, it was nice. I think you had a beer.
Yeah, I had a beer of some type, and I think I had something to eat.
Unlikely.
Sound like Mark Wine said.
And we started with our first of our cosmetic shopping up there with the olive tree shop that was there.
The olive tree shop.
We had a look. So,
but it's not about us shopping there. The view was phenomenal. So check it out if you're up there.
The other thing we forgot to mention is near the gate that you... Songyemun. There's a market.
The Songyemun Market.
And is that what it's called?
Nah. But that marks part of Myeongdong area. It's just an extension of that whole area.
So at the market, really great things to buy. So much. There's great options for food. So we watched some people making like a sort of like a mung bean pancake.
Yeah.
I think we got some photos, maybe even some video of that. Yeah. We also ate there. You had some great orange juice there, remember?
Yes.
I think it might have been from Jeju, even the island. We also had.
Yep, I remember.
I can't remember if they were dumplings or something those ladies made. There was a table. We had some dumplings, and then we've had heaps of different things there to eat. What's also great is if you're into any Korean products such as shampoo and skin masks.
Yeah, they do that by the dozen
face
nearly.
masks. At the market, they're quite cheap.
Yeah.
So they've got this Korean shampoo that I really like. Its main ingredient's ginseng. And I love
the one that we're using still?
Yeah, but the red one. There's different types.
Oh, I got the other one.
Here in Australia, it's like a big bottle.
And it's probably about 15 times the price.
Yeah. So here in Australia, the bottles are about, for a big one, probably about $30, maybe $25. Oh, yeah. And over there, a big bottle would be like $9. But even a small bottle would be like $3.
But the good thing is with that Myeongdong market that they come in like packs of 4 and stuff.
Yeah, so you can take a heap away.
So they're travel friendly in a way.
Very. And they also have great souvenirs there too. Awesome magnets. It's a really great market
for sure.
To walk around. And the hustle and bustle, heaps of people there all the time. And what I found is that the market's sectioned as well. So there'll be like a section for kids' clothes. There'll be food. There'll be cosmetics. And there's also the street where you can have seafood there in the market. There's an alley, seafood alley.
No, it would be something like that. Yeah. I'm not 100%
Can't remember
sure
what it is, but you can. You walk down there, and there's some. We've taken some great photos of people cooking some amazing dishes down there.
Yeah.
So the markets are such a must.
Did you ask me before what station we were near?
Yes.
City Hall.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, City Hall station.
It was always City Hall? No. There was another one, but I can't remember.
Well, unless we went to Hoi Hyun, but I don't think we did. I think we went to City Hall. City Hall's got 2 locations because of how big City Hall station is. The stations in Seoul are quite large.
Very large. So you always got to look at an exit map to know where you're getting out.
And make sure you check that exit map so you know where you're going, because otherwise you've got to go back the same way because there might not be access street level.
Exactly.
There might not be any pedestrian access.
So Namsan, as you said, was a great viewing point and a great way.
It was awesome.
For you to see the lay of the land, I suppose. And in your photos,
it's fantastic
that you take up there, you'll see a lot of hills around you, as well as a lot of spread out neighborhoods and a lot of high rises, as well as, like I said, those traditional.
Do you remember what else is up there? Something that's like the Seattle Tower.
Yeah,
it's like
like a communication tower
with but there's glass as well. You can go up it.
Yeah, an observation point as well.
So you can go up to the very top of that observation point, but we didn't bother.
No, we thought the view from the outside was great enough as it was.
Look, I'm looking at my pictures now, and I reckon even one of those views might be the cover picture for this podcast.
Maybe. What you'll also note is that
so nice.
It is.
I
really
remember
nice.
It's so beautiful now. Looking at these pictures on my phone, all the trees are also shaped like the Japanese. They take a lot of care in their fashioning of branches and so forth. So it was really lovely.
You can also walk up. You don't have to take the funicular because the funicular is quite small.
Yep.
So you could also walk up. And we walked down, actually, if you recall, because the line for the funicular going down was quite long. And after that, we must have had a rest because my photo stopped there, and I have some K-pop that came up on the TV as soon as I put it on. So you might want to put that video on as well to your YouTube. because it's quite hilarious.
Yeah, I might do that.
One
for
great
sure.
thing for dinner, we had no plans. And the great thing about Seoul is it's a massive foodie city.
Oh, yeah.
We did a food tour as well, and you can't go wrong. The quality is there. I don't think we didn't have a bad meal at all.
No.
The whole time we were there. Breakfast included because we went out for breakfast. Our hotel didn't have breakfast.
True.
So no matter what we chose, we did well. So
you know that place where we ate the chicken and the beer? We didn't eat beer, we drank it.
yeah,
It's called Living Beer.
is it?
Yeah. And from the pictures that I had like 6 beers.
You had 5. You had a float of
and
beers.
I had a float, but they were like in
Not
bunts
a
and
flight. Not a float. A flight of
a flight
beers.
of beers, but they were in like
They were in beakers.
beakers, that's it.
So they
Beakers.
weren't really tasters. They were
They
big beers.
They were big. They were like pots.
And because we had just come to Korea and Seoul, we ordered Korean fried chicken and some
yeah.
potatoes, and we ordered a lot of chicken. A lot. But we ate it all. I'm pretty sure we ate it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
We
really
did.
good.
But this place is cool. If you want to go to this place, you have to go to... One second. Okay, so it's 26 to 5 Namdaemun Row, Wongil, Bukchon Dong, something or other. But if you look up Living Beer, that's the place we went to. In Seogdong is the area that we were staying in.
Okay, maybe you can put a link.
I will probably put a link,
So,
I would say.
obviously, we were in Myeongdong, so we decided to do some shopping around Myeongdong the next day.
Yep.
And we
Sure did.
taken some really lively photos because it is an extremely lively area, mostly known for its shopping. So, clothing, male and female. There's got the main kind of brands there, international brands. But importantly, skincare and
A lot of skincare.
makeup.
A lot
Now,
of makeup.
I don't know the demographic of your listeners, but
My
I will
listeners?
tell you, ladies, that
I'm sure there's some
Korean-
ladies.
Korean masks, Korean cosmetics have been the best that I've used. I bought a lot when I was over there,
Yep, you sure
And-
did. You still got a lot.
and I've still got a lot, which is great. And it's just the best quality for not an expensive price at all.
And from the ingredients, everything's natural as well.
For some things they are. You can find those versions. The other great thing is they have this island that's off Korea, which I've really wanted to go to,
Yeah.
called Jeju Island.
Jeju
and Jeju's
Island,
got
yep,
this
yep.
kind of mystical kind of aura about it where a lot of ingredients that they harvest are from Jeju,
Because it's a magical island.
but it's more about, I don't know, this connection to natural sort of.
It's a connection to
Ingredients?
nature, which
So-
I think the people from South Korea have a very strong connection with.
True. And so brands like Innisfree, they get most of their ingredients from
They're
Jeju
the major brand,
Yeah.
aren't they? But no, they are Jeju
based. Exactly.
And all their ingredients are from Jeju.
So we also went into other department stores where, or skincare stores where they had things that were from Jeju as well. So look out for that for something interesting.
Yeah, Jeju's
So-
the place, so I'll have to go there next
And
time.
Myeongdong, other than shopping, we went to visit some cats.
Yeah, we saw a lot of cats. We saw a lot of sleeping fat pussies, which I love looking at sleeping cats. They are so cute, but you can't pick them up. They won't allow you to pick them up.
No.
So don't
But
think you're going
we
to
had a
start
lot of-
picking up all the cats.
A lot of great photos. The other great thing about Korea, Myeongdong, is you'll have a lot of food options both on the
Yeah.
stalls, and so there's the stalls that get set up at night on the walking street, so like a night market.
That's every night.
Every
till,
night.
Till very,
Very
very
late.
late. Yeah.
Great food, lots of options, both international and Korean. Some highlights.
Do you remember, so going back to the cats,
Yeah.
that they were all identified differently depending on their nature?
On their aggressive
On
or
their,
not aggressive.
if they're aggressive. I'm looking at this cat now, which kind of reminds me of Mew and a cat I used to have when I was a kid called Fluffy.
Yep.
This one.
Oh, yeah.
And she was so
that was
gorgeous.
friendly. That was a
And
friendly
she had
cat.
a little frilly necklace with a little pink bow, and she was just the best. She was so cute.
Really sweet.
Really friendly, wanted to hang out a lot. And every cat there has a different collar depending on its nature.
Yeah.
There's even a Sphinx I'm looking at with no collar. He looks cheeky.
He was cheeky.
He's naughty.
So, yeah, Myeongdong food. We had hot pot naturally.
Talking about the cats again, because I go from food to cats.
Yep.
Remember this guy?
Of course I
Can you
remember
describe
him.
to my listeners what he looks like?
So, he's a grey cat,
But he's got a curled
but he's got, I think he's an American curl.
American curl.
So he's got the,
backwards curled ears, which I could do to Miu, because very similar looking.
yeah.
Should I
grey.
try it on one of our cats?
Try it.
We'll try it. They won't
but
like it.
I have a selfie with that cat.
So going back to the food.
I think we're done the food. Another major attraction.
I'm going to have a guy from Seoul, from Kimchi Food Tours, called Joe McPherson. He's going to come on and talk to me about Korean food.
Oh, cool.
So any food that I'm not covering today, because I'm actually not qualified to talk about Korean food. Mandy's more qualified to talk about Korean food. I just eat it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what I'm eating most of the time. I just know I like Korean food. Bibimbap is nice. A little sushi. They're equivalent to sushi.
No,
I know bibimbap.
No.
No? No, okay.
It's that bowl with all the
Anyway.
mixed ingredients.
Wait, what am I
Bibimbap.
thinking about then?
You're thinking about the little...
Pop, pop, pop. Isn't that pop, pop, pop?
You're thinking of those little hand rolls.
What are they called?
Oh, now you put me on the
They're
spot.
called hammy bammies. But I'll just keep talking about cats. These cats,
Can
if
we
you
move
want
on?
to go to a cat place,
There's plenty of them.
there are, and I remember I spoke on the podcast once about that lady from, I think, LA or somewhere. She was from the US. Guess what? It comes up as an unnamed location when I try and Google Maps this place. But look, there's plenty of cat cafes everywhere. But getting back to the food. No, I'm not going to do it to you anymore, listener. We were so far after 2 days enjoying our time, because whenever I get to eat good food, hang out with my wife, pat a cat, I'm a very, very, very happy man. The third day, though, what were we doing? Hold on a second. Gyeongbokgung?
Yep.
Ah, yes. That was actually quite a nice area, Gyeongbokgung. Is that where the large department store was?
No. It's where the palace is.
Oh, I'm looking at department store pictures.
No.
So that was from that first day. Oh, second day. The department that we walked through. Yes. I remember that now.
So, major attractions in Seoul.
We started with Starbucks.
Breakfast.
Breakfast every morning, and I had a Halloween-styled iced coffee with the smiles.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
That was pretty good.
Anyway, back to...
So the major attractions in Seoul do relate to palaces. I believe there is maybe 4 or 5 major palaces in Seoul that have been well preserved and are really amazing to go in and have a look.
The best one is Gyeongbokgung.
Correct. So that's number one, probably the number one highlight. And
Oh, yeah.
heaps of halls and pavilions, lots of Buddhist decorations, lots of colour. A lot of people like to get dressed up in hanboks, the traditional Korean wear for women.
Yeah, we didn't bother with that.
Equivalent to men, so they get dressed up particularly.
What's the men's equivalent? The Hanok or something like that?
Particularly, people that do get dressed up have their entrance fee waived, so you can go and hire the traditional wear, and you don't have to pay the entrance fee. Although the entrance fee is minuscule, it is nothing. And you can go in and enjoy the history of those palaces. You had Sean from...
Sean Morrissey.
Yep, so he knows a lot about the history around these palaces and even took us on a tour on one of the others in the other parts of the city.
Or he took us on a ghost tour.
Yeah. But he told us a lot about...
the history.
The history and what happened with the emperors that inhabited those palaces.
Well, that Gyeongbokgung Palace was the main royal palace for the Joseon dynasty.
Okay.
It was built in 1395.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very old.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's very old.
Yeah. So if you have the opportunity to get a guided tour, or if you do a tour like we did where we learn a bit of history, well worth it to understand how important these places are.
And it's really nice just to walk around the properties
gardens.
and take in the architecture. The architecture of these old buildings is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And if you're into Oriental architecture, then you'll love it.
Exactly.
And it's very easy to walk around, and dare I say, it's nearly disabled friendly.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think
pretty
there's
even.
a lot of it's very even, but there was also lots
of
areas
ramps.
where there were ramps. So
we have
don't let it stop you.
heaps of photos of Gyeongbokgung, and I'm really sorry if we're butchering our Korean.
Gyeongbokgung,
But it's
something like that.
It really is a really pretty place.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And with the people dressed up in their hanoks, hanboks, sorry. You will get some great photos as well because there's so much colour.
Oh, for sure. I love the red.
And there's a lake there with a pagoda on it, and there's another gate around there as well. Really amazing.
Do you remember the colours of all the trees?
Yes, autumn colours.
Autumn yellow.
So we went from there. We were actually walking from there to the Bukchon Hanok Village. So that's where we got a hanok. And what we ended up doing was passing through an area.
You mean the art district?
Yeah, that had
I remember the
galleries
art district.
and lots of amazing shops and little alleyways.
Yeah.
This was probably my favourite area. It had all these independent sort of galleries that were displaying modern art and all sorts of other interesting things, painted cars and all that sort of stuff.
And a robot holding another robot baby that was pink.
Really?
A white robot. Yeah, I took a photo of it. I just think it was really cool.
A really quirky sort of neighbourhood that also had some good food. We had some rice and beef there, I remember.
Yeah.
And great shopping.
I think that area is called maybe... Oh, what is it? It's coming up. I don't know.
As I'm talking about the shopping...
Palpandong or Gundong or...
Not sure. Maybe we'll put a link.
Jaedong. I'll find out. I'll put a link.
In terms of the shopping, the clothes...
Oh, Hwadong. Hwadong.
Okay.
That's what it was. Hwadong.
Clothes are great. Accessories are great and cheap. So earrings... even you got a backpack, I got a bag, and they were both $10 each. And my bag I always get compliments on. The value for money in Seoul is amazing.
Remember that main street that's, it's divided by the wall of the palace and then the old shops? That was called Samcheong-ro.
Okay. Great.
So nice.
And then that's not far from Bukchon Hanok Village. So
it's very close.
This area is one of the most photographed areas, I think, in Seoul. A lot of people go there to try and get a great, I suppose, Instagram photo.
Yeah, well, it's because the streets are very narrow and small, and the houses are quite short as well.
So the houses are the traditional wooden houses called hanoks. They're pretty rare, and there's a lot of hilly lanes that allow you to get a really great view of what's behind, the city landscape in amongst all these traditional houses.
Yeah.
The houses are renovated.
They are, yeah.
They're well looked after, and people do live there, so you have to be respectful be quiet when you're there. And there are people holding up signs saying, please be quiet. Because it is a residential part of Seoul, and I bet quite a pricey place to live.
Well, apparently the traditional village is composed of lots of alleys. I'm just reading this off Wikipedia, but it was a 600-year-old urban environment. That's why they've kept it. So they wanted to keep it intact.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I'm just looking at my photos now.
I love the way the wood is incorporated into all these builds.
Yeah,
wood
stunning.
and stone. It's gorgeous.
We are rugged up that day. I'll tell you what, it was cold.
We were definitely rugged up. There's pictures of us, and we are just cold looking. I feel cold looking at them.
Cold looking
at them.
So, we also, I'm not sure if this was on the same day, but another attraction in Seoul is an area called Insadong. And Insadong is known for its, I don't know if it's ceramics. I think it's a popular tourist area. Yeah. It's got a lot of, handicraft stores, a lot of, it's an area where people go and buy their souvenirs.
Yep.
So it's quite a big shopping area. Mm-hmm. We didn't spend a whole lot of time there. We had a look at the shops mostly, and there was this great accessory shop where it graded earrings at different prices. So I'm talking about $2.
Degraded earrings?
No, graded. Like they graded their earrings. So from like $2 to $10. But you had, remember that shop? But you had a little basket and...
Oh, I found you earrings. The M's, little M's.
That was, wasn't there, but that's okay. You did buy me little M earrings.
What do you mean it wasn't there?
It wasn't there. That was a different area. That was where we were before.
Okay.
So, you can buy lots of earrings there.
Okay.
And I wear them every day. And they still last.
You do.
So, another major highlight of ours was our food tour.
Yeah, the food tour was fantastic.
You want to talk about that, Ben?
No, Mandy, you go. You talk about it. I'm looking at pictures.
So we went on a food tour with Seoul Eats.
Do you remember what his name is?
Dan
Gray.
Dan Gray took us around.
50 Shades is his middle name.
Took us around. Well, the title of the tour was Hipster Food Tour.
I thought it was 50 Shades of Grey tour. Dan was a really nice guy.
I'm not sure if you can get the location of where he took us, Ben, on your location settings.
I can't.
But it was a neighbourhood around, a local neighbourhood, not one that's visited much by tourists. No English at all. So we started off with some Korean barbecue. And guys,
that was tasty. And he taught us some drinking games too.
Yeah, and I don't usually eat pork. But this was delicious.
But that was the meat though that you had to wrap in the lettuce leaves. Remember?
Exactly.
And you dip it in the sauce
with some garlic and some dipping sauce, and we had some soup with it. We had some soju. We had some beer. We had some soju and beer combined.
Yep.
We played some Korean drinking games. Learnt that you never pour your own drink, so someone should always pour that for you. And I thought that's a great tradition.
Yeah, we still do it now.
Yep. And we slowly entered into a night of laughs.
And frivolity. Although Dan didn't drink.
No, he seemed to just be giving us drinks.
He was just laughing and giving us drinks.
We were getting very drunk.
A very nice guy.
And then the second place we went to was a traditional place that kind of does tempura vegetables.
Now, it's not Gyeongbokgung?
Maybe.
No, maybe. I'm butchering it. I'm butchering
we'll put some links.
Yeah, I'll try.
We'll put a link to
try and figure out where we were.
Dan's tour.
Yeah. Dan will get a link.
And then that way you can see what's on offer. But there was this particular beer that he served us. Do you remember? It was like a rice beer.
Yeah, that rice beer was awesome. But it frothed up.
Yeah, it turns kind of milky.
Yeah, it was a milky, frothy beer. It was very tasty, though.
Yeah, and you always get little accompaniments with any meal that you eat. And the second place was full of just Korean men being very rowdy.
And they were looking at us.
Drinking, and we were the only white people there.
Yeah, we're the only the only Westerners.
That's right. And the food that they fried up in like a tempura style was just beautiful. Lots of kimchi, lots of pickled vegetables as well, which is always amazing. And as we walked through a market in the evening, you could see how they get sesame seeds, they make their own chili pastes, whole bunches of chilies and mung beans were all out. It was really interesting to see those markets where local people shop.
Absolutely. And because that's an area you wouldn't necessarily see if you're a tourist.
Not at all. And the very last place...
We wouldn't have seen that if Dan didn't show us.
No way. We wouldn't have gone to this area.
No, well, no one really spoke English there.
And the very last place that we went to was a hole-in-the-wall Korean fried chicken place.
He was so cool. Remember? He had a ponytail. He had the headband. He looked like he was probably part of some Korean... AC/DC or something like that, some rock band, cover band. But
we had some ladies in the store with us and they were laughing and smiling at us. Really sweet.
Yeah, they were cute.
And the gentleman made us the hottest Korean fried chicken I've ever had. It was hot. I don't know if we were... Oh, he was concerned. He was concerned about making it for us. That it was going to be too hot. That it was going to be too hot. And look, it was hot, but we put on a brave face. We drank a lot of beer and soju to go with it.
Yes. Yes.
But it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, look, if you're ever in Korea and want to do a food tour, do it with Dan. It's fantastic. He was a great host. Dan is also... been one of the main guys on Street Foods Asia on Netflix.
Yep.
He was featured
on the Seoul
the Seoul episode, so he was doing all the talking. Street Food Asia or something.
So, yeah, we'll put a link. But a big night. We got a bit tipsy, but it was a lot of fun.
And then, do you remember the following day, Mandy? We were in Italy. From the looks of these photos.
Were we? Show me. What's that? The Trevi Fountain?
The Trevi Fountain. Now, it was inside that department store that was in that area where Seoul Tower was.
Oh, the Lot Tower.
The Lot Tower.
Yeah, we went up the Lot Tower the next day.
The Lot Tower was fantastic.
I've got a video of the elevator ride up.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can put that in there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Really high. I don't know if you know how high it is, Ben, but
565 meters or something like that.
That's really tall. Probably that and the Skytree are the tallest that we've been in.
Yeah. Remember we spoke about it recently on the podcast, but
we did.
This building, wow, amazing.
The photos are pretty cool. Very cool photos.
I think I rate it as my second or third favourite building to go up.
Got another video. Look at me with all my videos.
Yeah.
Great photos from there as well. The area around there is very different. It's, I don't know, is it residential around there?
It's residential to a point, but totally different to any other part of...
Big wide boulevards. And
huge boulevards.
6 lanes or something.
Oh, what I did remember about that area is that there's a lot of apartment life.
Definitely.
So apartments on apartments. Kind of reminds me of what certain parts of maybe China would be like.
Yeah.
Where people are living amongst everyone, everyone's together.
Exactly.
And then you've got this department store, which only the richest of Koreans, people from Seoul, can afford.
And it looked a bit like that.
And it kind of felt like it was more, not slums, but the area was a lot, what's another term for a lot cheaper?
Do you think so?
I think, but I'm probably wrong though.
I thought it was great.
No, I loved the area. I mean, the area was okay. I loved the department store. I thought that was a lot of fun because it's got the Starlight Library. No,
that was in another area.
No, that's the same place. I'm sure it was. No? Okay.
So, the place that you're thinking of is Dongdaemun, Ben.
Yeah.
And we actually went there next.
Oh, wasn't that on the same day?
It was on the same day, but we had to travel to get there.
Oh, I thought it was all part of it.
No.
I thought the Seoul department store. So that's another part. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
So,
there you go. So do you remember the name of that library that's everyone talks about, the famous
Starfield Library?
Starfield, that's the one. Now, before Mandy goes into what she's about to say now, the place that she was trying to describe was Dongdaemun History and Cultural Park, or Culture Park. We forgot the name of it. Now, inside this park, you will find different things like the Seoul Fortress, the Yigan Sumun Watergate, the Dongdaemun History Museum, 1398, and the Dongdaemun Excavation Site Exhibition Hall, as well as a stadium memorial. And all that is within this park. So the Dongdaemun History and Culture Park, it's fantastic. I remember walking down one of those little avenues that they made, and there's hundreds and hundreds of little LED lights that shine like little flowers. But Mandy will go into that. When they were excavating the site, they found thousands of relics dating back to the Joseon dynasty, which is pretty cool. So, and I'm pretty sure from memory also the site was located in an old or abandoned baseball arena, because there are still the old lights of the baseball park. So it's a very interesting area, but I'll let Mandy talk a little bit more about it. If you're in Seoul, definitely check this out. It's fantastic.
So Dongdaemun is a great area, probably one that we should have spent more time in, because there's a great market there. There's another gate there. You also see remnants of the wall there as well. And there's a wall museum. There's also the kind of, what do you call it? That area. It's like an art area, like an
art district,
architectural kind of building and area that's got some famous scenes that people take pictures of, like LED lights that light up.
Okay.
Some great shapes there, lots of smooth semicircular kind of buildings.
Wow, I don't remember that. Oh, now I remember where the Shake Shack was.
Yes.
And you got the poppy garden.
Yes.
All the poppies.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, and like Ben said, the Starfield Library, which is where everyone kind of goes to, and some great areas.
You know that area, we didn't properly check that out till I think a few days later.
Yeah, that's right.
But we had gone there to check out the Starfield Library initially, yeah. And that was, and also we had time, so we went to that special monument, the shrine.
Yep, that's right.
And that shrine was in, it was Bongganusa. It's very famous.
The temple.
The temple, Bongganusa Temple, which was
so maybe
fantastic.
The Starfield Library is near the Lot Tower.
Starfield
Maybe you were
Library,
right. Sorry.
It is near the Lot Tower.
Yeah, my apologies.
Lot World Tower. We walked all the way down, remember?
Yeah.
And then we walked all the way down to
the
go
shopping
to
centre,
Starfield Library.
Yeah.
And Bongganusa, which is in Samsundong area.
Yeah, you're right.
Lot World Tower is in an area called Jamsil.
Yep.
Or Jamsil-dong. And I thought Jamsil-dong was more a populated area for mass housing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there is a lot of apartment blocks.
So that's what I meant by not being a cheap area, but being a mass housing estate.
Yeah.
But housing, I mean apartment buildings everywhere.
Mm. That evening, I'm pretty sure we went to the other Korean fried chicken place that was quite famous as well. And we had some fried chicken, we had some fried vegetables and some beers. And there's a little mascot of a cat with holding a beer in that restaurant. And
that's right.
Put a link if we can.
Yeah, sure.
It was really good. Popular area with locals. So well worth going to.
Definitely.
And another one of the major attractions that people do visit, if you remember where we went the following day.
Yeah, we went to the gallery or the
museum.
museum.
To the National Museum of Korea. It's a really great big museum, lots of Korean treasures from the various dynasties over probably about a 2,000-year span of history. Beautiful building too with lovely grounds. The cafe there is pretty good. I had a bibimbap and
That's
sure
right.
Ben had something delicious as well.
Oh,
I only remember
forget what I
mine.
had.
But the grounds are really stunning. And again, with those autumn colours, it just produced some amazing photos. The building itself is really pretty. Oh, you had a carbonara, of course. I can see.
Hey, I didn't eat carbonara.
You did.
What are you talking about? I eat carbonara all the time. I love carbonara.
I took some...
Just secretly.
Yeah, there's some great
Quietly.
great photos from the gardens around there. And then that evening, we went on our amazing ghost tour. Well, is it a ghost tour?
Yeah.
The Dark Side of Seoul tour.
Dark Side of Seoul tour with Sean Morrissey, and that's all done by Zen Kimchi Tours.
Yeah, great place.
That was a fantastic tour.
And our last day was
Yes.
spent exploring areas we had visited during the tour, which involved areas around the American Embassy.
Yeah, that was spooky around that area,
yeah.
especially at night. But then during the day, it was more
Really beautiful.
very, very interesting place.
And this is when we went to Dongdaemun, as I described.
Yes, and we did that little museum underneath
the temple, the shrine.
The shrine,
The statue.
with the was the leader of Korea at the time. I forgot his name.
And Dongdaemun with its awesome buildings, great food, and again some remnants of walls, the LED flowers, and the other thing we did, which we forgot to mention.
And there's a Shake Shack there too across
there is
the
a
road.
Shake Shack we had. Oh, we were so excited. Oh, I've got a photo. How delicious. It's making me hungry.
It's not about Shake Shack,
It's
Mandy.
not, but
it's
do you
about
remember
these creative...
the lovely walk we
curves.
did?
Oh, yes, the walk via the river.
Yes.
I do remember that because at that time there was the special
The Lantern
Festival was on.
Yep.
And I reckon that's in my top 10 walks that I've ever done.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure, because of the feeling around it. It was dark, the lanterns were on, everyone was about, people were happy.
Yeah.
Koreans were happy back then. No, Koreans are always happy. But yeah, it was great. But I didn't take any pictures.
Oh, yes, you did.
Nah.
Was your
not on
battery...
this.
Oh, you know why? Because you were running out of room. That's why.
Yeah, I had this other phone and I was running out of room. Now I won't be running out of room next time because I'm going to use this phone for all my photos coming up in
I
Asia.
took heaps of photos.
You did take heaps of photos. And what was one of the things that you enjoyed most about walking?
So I don't know how to say the name of the stream walk.
Okay, do you want to give it a shot?
Cheongyecheon.
Excuse me?
Cheongyecheon. Sorry, for all the Korean listeners, I'm really sorry about
Mandy,
my
why do you
pronunciation.
butcher Korean so much?
Because I don't know how to say it. But anyway, what you need to know about this area is it was really run down and used and quite polluted at one stage. I'm talking many years ago.
Yep.
And there was a concerted effort to clean it up and use it as a space for a lot of the locals to enjoy, a green space. And so a lot of works have been undertaken.
What is it, landscaping?
Yeah, landscaping.
Creating areas where you can sit
paths,
and view
Yep. Seating areas.
the water. Yep.
Kind of architecturally designed sort of areas as well as interspersed with old rock and big
Interspersed,
stones.
I like that word.
So during the time when we were there, they have all these lanterns that are lit up along the river
Yep.
that is modelled on, I don't know, all sorts of things, parts of history,
Yep.
international figures, various
There was some dragons. There was some manga
historical
stuff.
things and modern things at the same
Yep,
time.
just art pieces in a sense.
Yeah. And people get excited. It was when we went there. I think it was the first day of the Lantern Festival.
It was the very first day, yeah.
And everyone strolls along, and particularly at night, obviously.
And families are everywhere, and just people are stopping, taking photos. There wasn't a lot of foreigners. It was mostly all South Koreans.
So the great thing about that stream walk is if you have the option to walk down rather than above the street, you take the stream because it's a lot prettier and it takes you away from the traffic.
Yeah.
And, the general hustle and bustle.
Now, you were saying it's Cheonggi-cheon-ro. Yeah?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's probably about right. Cheongji-cheong, Gwanjong. There's a lot of chong and dongs.
There is.
In Korean.
And gungs.
And gungs.
Yeah.
So between the dongs, gungs and bongs...
They're the main highlights.
Yeah.
The other area we went to was Gangnam. So obviously Gangnam Style, the song.
Oh, yeah, that was a brilliant song, wasn't it?
Based on that area.
Gangnam Style.
It's quite a upmarket area as well. So that was pretty cool. Bought some more face masks there, I reckon. Probably. And...
Oh, you did.
So obviously you can catch trains everywhere. It's typical... Asian setup, which means it's great public transport. Trains are easy to catch, load money onto your cards. There's nothing too difficult to work out.
No.
There's some great apps that will help you if you need to swap lines. Just obviously prepare for your trips beforehand and download either an offline map to know where you're going or check out the application that you have on your phone to know exactly which station to get at. As we mentioned, stations are big, so you need to really check the exit map to know if you're heading in the right direction, as where the road is that you need to, or what you're close to.
Your exit, yeah.
Your exit. The Korean won is easy to deal with. It's price-wise, we budgeted for approximately...
$150 a day?
I think it was 150 because we wanted to add shopping in there and we came back with money. It was well and truly a value for money destination. Lots of interesting things, lots of modern things interspersed with historical sites.
Yep.
And the people, I must say, were extremely friendly. They're
a great bunch of people, the South Koreans.
They were very open to tourists and to Westerners. They made every effort to make you feel welcome. And if you were in their way, or
they would push you over,
or if you messed with them, they would let you know by grunting or growling at you or pushing past you. But it was quite hilarious because it wasn't done in a... how could I say, in a malicious way at all.
No.
So I was just saying to Ben, and he's probably going to include it, that I really want to go back.
Yeah, and also I'm just going to make mention that I didn't see any spitting on the ground.
Yeah, no spitting.
Because...
But I did see spit on the ground that I had to avoid.
I think you see that in every major city, though.
That's true.
I mean, people need to get rid of their phlegm sometimes. It happens.
Got to get it out.
Got to get it out. Well... That is fantastic, Mandy. I loved Seoul just as much as you, but I would love to go back one day.
Yeah,
for sure.
Me too. Great destination, underrated in my opinion. I love to see more of Korea. Go to Jeju, go to Busan, lots of different places for us to go see.
And then the next place we were going to was Taiwan, but that will be another podcast.
Yeah, another podcast.
So it's taken a while for us to get to this point, but we're finally here.
That's it.
So that was our Seoul trip. Other than giving you information on stuff, Mandy, do you remember anything funny or anything memorable that you'd like to talk about before we go?
Definitely our...
I think the ghost tour was my favourite thing that I did.
The two tours that we did were amazing, so I would highly recommend doing something like that so you get more of a local feel.
Yeah.
And also there were big
laughs. The day's tour was great too.
Lots of laughs.
Fantastic.
And lots of explanation of Korean idiosyncrasies and the way they go about their day-to-day, which is quite funny that you don't realise.
I think it's a must to do a tour.
Yeah, we'll be doing one on our next trip for sure. Anything funny? I loved being pointed at from across the road by the older man who pointed at me and then rubbed his cheek to say, I don't know what, but it was endearing anyway.
You white girl.
It was endearing anyway.
Yeah.
And what else did I love? I love the people.
Yeah.
The people were amazing. They were hilarious. They were funny. They loved a drink. And they were super interested, and really you got big smiles when you said 감사합니다 and 안녕하세요 when you see them. And they loved it. And the food was phenomenal.
So I think that's a big A-OK and a big tick from us.
What about you?
What about me? I love the place. I'm trying to think about some funny stories. I can't remember any. All I remember is that I'm a bit of a funny story sometimes.
True.
But
on that note,
otherwise, yeah, that's it.
On that note, thank you, Travelman Podcast listener.
Yes, so you can always follow me on Facebook. I've got the Travelman Podcast group and page there. On Instagram, I'm Travelman Podcast. On Twitter, I'm at Travelman Pod. The podcast is on many different, not forums, but what would you call that, Mandy? Not forums. What's a podcast on? Different stations.
Platforms?
Platforms is what I was thinking of. So, like, it's on Pod Addict. Libsyn. Well, Libsyn is who hosts me. Podcast Addict.
Spotify.
iTunes. Oh, Mandy's good at this. You can go. Keep going.
iTunes.
Yep.
Stitcher. I don't know anymore.
It's on everywhere.
It's on all of them. Download it.
Oh, yeah.
Give Benjamin a rating.
Yeah.
Give us a comment.
Yeah, okay. www.travelmanpodcast.com. And I'll speak to you in the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.